All right, so good evening. This is Niki in Japan. I have here my third victim from my COVID-19 chronicles. So, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Hello, I'm Art Dumigpe. So I'm 27 years old and I am a PhD student in physics
Yay!
as well as a
Yeah, actually, we
it's my
are,
fourth year in teaching in the
wow,
university as
in the
well.
university.
Mhm.
Wow. Actually, Art and I were classmates back in the uni. We were taking up physics then, and now he continued on with his studies. Yeah, it's a
Basically, I
trap.
don't know.
He got trapped,
Yeah,
and he's enjoying it.
well,
Well,
that's up for debate. I don't know.
that's for another session.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm very happy for you being in my interview now.
Mhm.
It's been a long time actually since the last time we saw each other, with or without the
Yeah,
pandemic. I mean, we got busy with our own lives, and I'm just so
yes.
glad. Actually, I think this pandemic is such a blessing in disguise for me because here I get a chance to talk with you. All right. So, yeah, short description. So, what are you doing now?
Well, right now I was just playing video games.
Okay,
That's where most of my free time goes since for the most part we're not allowed to go out here.
that's
Or at
true.
least we're not allowed to go out for recreation.
All right.
But of
So,
course there's this alert level system going down, so offices now require people to commute for work.
oh, okay. So people are allowed to commute for work. Ha- So
They're
just
required.
curious, just
Mhm.
curious. Okay. Can you like give me an overview? What was life like before the pandemic? Like when it comes, you were talking about commute, for instance, commute.
Mhm.
What's the difference like before the pandemic, right now? What's the difference?
So of course, before the pandemic, there's always this traffic and commuting problem in the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm
Yes, as
well
in
familiar
it's
with that.
hard to look for rides
Mm-hmm.
when you already have a bus stop in front of you. It's kind of full, so either you either push your luck and go inside with a lot of people there,
Yeah, like to get cramped like
or
sardines, like a pack of
just wait
sardine.
for another bus. Of course, there's this thing where you line up with
Mm-hmm.
other commuters,
Mm-hmm.
and lines can either occupy the first lane of the road, or if there's an actual line, it can cross to the other street.
To the other
It's as
seat
if
because of the line.
it's
So that's
really
how
that.
awful it is. Like just to
Mhm.
give tell like viewers a background how awful like transportation is in the Philippines. First, we don't have train systems, right? We only have
Yes,
like lines like the
only have
MRT,
three lines.
three lines, but these train lines only run 30 kilometers. Is
I'm
it
not
like in
sure on the
Manila?
distance, but of
PNR
course.
PNR like runs longer, but within Manila, right? It's just
Mhm.
30 kilometers. But
Mhm.
even with that train system, how can you tell me like how much it takes to travel from the farthest point, like end to end in the train system in Manila
Well, counting for the waiting
for the
time,
waiting time? Yes,
yes, the waiting time to queue on the payments, queue on the
everything. Yeah.
payment of the fare, and just to getting in the
Mm-hmm.
station itself. You're lucky if, for example, you're going to and from work.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're
People
going
like
with a
during
lot of
rush
people.
hour. Mm-hmm.
So during rush hours, you're lucky if you manage to travel within 1 hour.
Within 1 hour, you're lucky. Like within a imagine guys, so within a 30-kilometer stretch, you're lucky
Mm.
if you get to travel within an hour. But most of the time that's not the case. unfortunately.
And of course, the ride is not really
It's not
not
comfortable at
really a good
all.
experience.
It's not like public
Mm.
transportation in the Philippines has never been comfortable. Do you agree
Yes.
with me? Yeah, it's never been comfortable. Yeah,
Mm.
that's also my experience. So with the pandemic right now, how did the transportation mode of transportation change?
Um, of course, there are two stages there. The
Mm,
one stage is when it was a total lockdown.
a total lock. What's a total lockdown?
So this total lockdown thing is basically all almost all workers are expected to work from home,
Mm-hmm.
and public transportation except taxis and TNVSS.
What is a
TNVSS,
TNVSS?
Grab.
Grab,
T-
grab, right. Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the acronym
Yeah, the
means.
acronym stands for me too, but I know Grab. Okay, I think most people know Grab, Uber, right? Mm-hmm.
So it became the transportation still became difficult since jeepneys and buses and trains are mostly closed.
Right.
Public transportation is banned except
Mm-hmm,
for
mm-hmm,
for taxis and TNVSS. And by
mm-hmm.
then you have to only one passenger per vehicle is allowed.
Oh, wow. So how
And
did the traffic improve then, despite the fact that
of
people
course,
can
it
work from home
improved for people with cars,
with cars, but for those people
and those
without
who can afford taxis and Grab.
the Grab, yeah. But for those people who like, especially the working class, who are
The working
mostly
class,
like middle class, who
what they
cannot
did
afford
is
this
to
expensive mode of transport. Yes.
so what some people I know did, some of the people I know, they did carpooling,
Carpooling. Mm-hmm.
but of course it depends on when there is offering, and of course we have to take into account checkpoints.
The checkpoints.
For some
What's with
reason,
these
there are really
checkpoints? What are
uh
these checkpoints?
basically the checkpoints just limit traveling in between cities,
Okay.
especially with the growing cases.
So these
The
checkpoints, are these initiated by the government?
Yes.
What's the goal of
So
the government
those
with
are
these
met by
checkpoints?
the police, by the
Okay.
PNP,
By the police.
Philippine
Okay.
National Police,
By the Philippine
and
National Police.
more often than not, it can cause traffic due to
Wow.
due to due to
Unnecessary
stoppage,
checking, unnecessary
yes,
stopping.
unnecessary checking and unnecessary stoppages and this and
Right.
that.
All
Even
right.
food deliveries are being
Oh, even deliveries, like for instance, food delivery.
yes.
Oh, even food deliveries are being checked. Courier deliveries.
Mhm.
All
At least
right.
in those checkpoints,
Right.
it has been a difficult experience. So yes, I really discouraged myself from going out
During
then.
the
So I
time.
stayed here in
So
my apartment.
for instance, are you required to work to your university during the time?
At least for us, we're not we're actually discouraged
You're
to
discouraged to go to the university as long as you can set up your
discourage.
own.
It's
Okay.
actually we're banned.
You're banned. All right. I
Okay.
think that's a proactive
We have
approach
to
for the pandemic though.
we for for other workers who really have to go in there for example, for experiments and for equipment maintenance.
Right.
We have to they have to justify why
Because
they have
you're
to.
also doing your study, right? How's your
Mm.
study though?
But at least for me, I can do my research work while working from home.
That's good. That's awesome. But for those people who needed to go to laboratories, for instance, they have to
Right now,
justify,
they either have to justify or they have to
change their
transition
study. Oh
to
my gosh.
simulation work.
Wow. They have
Yeah,
to, yeah, they have to adjust basically
yeah. We
for the
basically had to adjust since there there,
whoa.
there
It's
are rules
banned
that prohibit students, for
from
example,
coming
students
in
that are not affiliated.
with a lab,
I,
with a university.
not affiliated meaning no work positions, just full-time student.
Ah, I see. So that's challenging. That's kind of
Mhm.
challenging for those
So in
students.
hindsight, students who are just students are not allowed in the university.
Mm. But you, for
So
instance, you are allowed in the university because you're an instructor,
mhm, I
right?
can go
Okay.
there from time to time, but of course, I have nothing to.
So yeah, yeah. So it's very unproductive
I
for
can
you to do that
I
though.
can basically do my work here.
Yeah.
I have a I think I have a good setup,
Okay.
two
Oh,
screens and
well, that's nice. That's
a
nice to
relatively
know.
powerful computer.
Yeah, yeah. That's really nice to know. All right. So, in the Philippines, when do you think will things go back to normal? Like on a personal note, when do you think will it go back to
Actually, I
normal?
really have no idea since I really can't say since it's also election season by
Uh-huh.
next year,
Mm-hmm.
and the
You think
progress would
mm-hmm,
really depend on how
the
the
next
election
administration, right?
results turn out.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so. I think if there's a proactive administration after the election, then things will get better. But basically, I think if it's status quo, that's going to
and
be a challenge and a
I
problem.
basically the allotment of resources is thinning out since all are busy with the
Election.
even though it's not yet campaign period. I think
Oh, wow. Wow.
it's the deadline for substitutions and such
Or
just
not yet.
end.
I just ended. Okay.
They just ended, and if anyone follows the news on elections, it's
Uh-huh.
really messy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I follow news media on Twitter and I'm like, what? What? I thought Sara Duterte and
Yeah.
Bongbong are tandem, but I can see like President Duterte saying other opinion about Bongbong
They're really
Marcos. I'm
making a
like,
fool out of the citizens.
actually, yeah, yeah, actually. I'm like, and
I'm
it baffles me. It baffles me why people still like listen to these clowns.
well. I think I think you're what you're asking is a rhetorical question,
Well,
but
yeah,
of
it is a
course,
rhetorical
uh,
question, but you will be surprised. Probably in
mhm,
Japan, maybe only one, two, or three Filipinos are
mhm.
not in favor of the current administration, including me. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like
There's
most of the communities here are, I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how these clowns appeal to the people. So anyways, with what you've shared with me, that it really depends on the next the next administration on
mhm,
how they would handle the pandemic. But like in the future, if things go back to normal soonest, if things go back to
mhm.
normal, what are your plans?
I would go out more often.
More often, yeah, something that you missed,
As
right?
in,
But do you really miss going
I'll
out?
go out for my hobbies.
For
Like,
your hobbies, like what hobbies do you miss doing?
well, of course, there's this thing on video games.
Video games, all right.
I'll go to video game conventions more often.
Right, conventions, yeah.
Conventions and tournaments.
Tournaments, right? Things that I don't
And
understand too.
and play face to face with the people I play with online.
Online, all
Right
right.
right now, I have a I'm in a online community where we get to play almost every day.
Wow. Yeah. It
So
must
I
be
hope.
it must be exhilarating getting to play with these people like face to face in the
Mhm.
future. Mhm.
Yes, yes, of course. And that's what I'm looking forward. That's one of the things I'm looking
Looking
forward to.
forward. Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope we get there soonest. All right. So I think that caps off my interview. Thank you
Mhm.
for your time. I'm happy to hear from you, like because we're friends. We're very close friends back then, even until now. Whether you like it or not, we will still be close friends. I will not be out of your life anytime soon. So yeah. I also miss hanging out with you guys. I hope when the pandemic is over, you could visit me here or we could go and meet somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't have
Sure.
plans on coming back to the Philippines if I can
Understandable. Understandable.
if I can stay out of it. So let's just meet elsewhere or we can meet here. Yeah, yeah. It's so nice catching up with you. So yeah, that's all.
Likewise.
Yes, yes. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Um
So,
till next time.
thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
definitely ask you for questions about anything.
All right. I'm
Okay,
looking
thank
forward to it.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.